All right, I gotta throw a little theme music in there for you here. I know that you're a Sooner, so I'm just gonna give you a little bit of an intro here as I do my intro for the show here. This is Ray from No Huddle Football News here, and I am going to have a guest here. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves here in just a second here. So let me give them a couple more seconds to get ready. Looks like he is ready, so let's go. All right. Do you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Yes, not a problem. My name is Jermaine Fazande. I'm a former running back, NFL running back. I played for San Diego, got drafted by San Diego. I was their first pick in 1999. So I'm a little old head, so different. My views are going to be a little different than some of these younger guys, but just as far as the game have changed tremendously. But again, a little bit about myself from New Orleans, Louisiana. Went to John Everett High School. Uh,
Mhm.
you know the football U. On in New
All right.
Orleans. Uh, had the opportunity to go to the University of Oklahoma, see me representing. Good win for my boys against Texas. So that moved us up in the rankings.
Okay.
Uh, to say the least, that's a little bit about my accolades. So, hey, I'm ready, Ray.
All right. So we're going to get right into a couple things here. Now, we do know that Oklahoma did have a big win
Absolutely.
Saturday. It was an electric game. It could have went either way. So I know we all watched that game, but can you tell me a little bit about your experience playing in the? I think did y'all play in the Cotton Bowl too in
Abs-
Dallas?
Absolutely, is a rivalry game. Two of the biggest rivalry games that we have. One is with Texas. It's the Red River Shootout, and the other one is with Oklahoma State. But right now, we're going to talk about the Red River Shootout. Man, one of the biggest rivalry college football games that still exists. So, man, when you playing in that atmosphere, it's almost bigger than playing in an NFL game. The crowd is, man, 80, 90,000 plus. Just all of the athletes that come out to watch the game, pro, pro individuals, pro scouts. It's the game to be at. And plus it's a big state fair. And after the game, everybody goes to the state fair. So it's the thing to do in Dallas.
Okay, perfect. Because those are neutral site games, so they're always extra exciting because you have two different fan bases that meet up in a neutral site. So not their home field, but they actually meet up in a field that's neutral. So it's literally what's literally 50-50. Oklahoma on one side, Texas on the other side. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And I tell you, like I was saying, one of the biggest game, man. Texas have one of the biggest fan base in college football, along with OU. And it's not too much separating the states. So basically, it's going out there having fun, man. And my hat goes off to 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 the University of Oklahoma, going out there and getting a win. And just right now, I think that honestly, we're unstoppable, man. We're looking good right now.
All right, I'd like to hear the spirit on that. When you have your home, your alma mater playing on TV, you just really pay special attention to that. Is that right?
Absolutely, man. I was glued into the TV. Man, I was at work watching the game, and it was to the point that I didn't want to answer any calls. Man, it was just basically electrifying. So I'm watching it on my phone. If I could watch it in my office, I watch it in my office. But I was dialed in, man.
Okay. Well, I'll give you another Oklahoma question. A couple more. All right. If I'm in Oklahoma, I guess where is the University of Oklahoma at? What city is it in? It's not
Is it?
Oklahoma City, right?
No, it's not Oklahoma City. I think it's about 45 minutes to maybe an hour away from Oklahoma City. It's in Norman, Oklahoma. So
Okay.
um, it's a Norman is a college town, man. Once if you
Mhm.
can eat any any place you could think of as a big college town, Norman is that, and they have built up the area around uh, the the college, and it's just magnificent right now, man. It's I have to get back down there, but when I was down there, I was impressed of what they were doing as far as just to get Norman back to the college atmosphere that it once was.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to rewind things just a tad bit, but I also want to go to Oklahoma with this next question here. So, what were the facilities? What was the big jump in the facilities like when you left high school going to Oklahoma?
Well, as far as high school, there a lot of high schools have this old gym equipment, and I mean, and I went to high school in Louisiana.
Mhm.
Let's X out Texas. Texas is their football is
Yep.
how they treat football is different than any other state, man. You have high school stadiums that look like college stadiums that look better than
Mhm.
some of the college stadiums.
Right.
So we didn't have the state of the art equipment, but what we did, we practiced hard. We had the heart. So we went out there, we practiced hard, and um, we didn't have much weights. We didn't have, the best squat system. But when I got to Oklahoma, man, I was blown away about the nutrition, the technology, and how they have you in tune and touch with your body. And the strength and condition coaches that we have there was top of the line. And especially when Stoops came in, they had a guy
Mhm.
named Smitty. So,
Okay.
hey, it was to the point that to see the transition from these college kids getting this nutrition, this workout plan, and seeing how they go about their business, it was phenomenal, man. It was phenomenal, but it was very eye opening in how they treated high school weight and conditioning compared to college. They made you get in touch and tune with your body and held you accountable to do that. You know.
Okay. All right. So I got another question here. This is for the youth. I always ask, former football players on how they can like a message to the youth and like not just running backs, any player that's playing youth football and looking forward to college. So can you just give me one key thing that a player or a student athlete should focus on when they're making that transition to the high school field to going to any college in the United States?
Right now, only thing I would like to tell these kids is stay focused. Stay focused on your craft, man. Don't let nobody tell you that you cannot do anything. Nobody's going to believe in you like you. And with the NIL deals
Mm,
and the way
mm,
things have changed tremendously. So these guys have more opportunities now to get into
mhm.
college, and then once they get into college, they can, you know, actually go into a portal and go to any college that they want. So I'm saying to young guys is just, hey, hang in there, stay focused, and work on your craft. And once you work on your craft, nobody can take that away from you, man. What's for you, nobody can take it away.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna go one more question with Oklahoma, and this is just the small town there. Like, besides eating on campus, what is one place you'll go to in Norman, Oklahoma that you, if you were going up today, that you would go and grab something to eat there?
Well, so many restaurants have changed, man. I haven't been to Oklahoma in as far as on campus
uh,
since what 2003. That's 20 something years ago.
oh, okay.
So
So you
so
have
so much have changed. But our go to was just it had a pizza place called Krusty's. I know for sure that it's not existing now. But Del
okay,
Rancho's, place to go if Del Rancho's is still open. Charleston, the restaurant, O'Connell's. They have the best hamburgers. There's a sports bar out there called O'Connell's. Man,
okay,
that's staple. That's staple places that you must go to, man, just for the hamburger and the ambiance alone. And doing college, doing OU games or college games is it's like no other.
Okay. Well, that's impressive because when you go back to college campuses, you start seeing when I returned back to Alabama A&M, I was like, a lot of places were gone,
Hmm.
and but you still always had that one little spot. I remember there was a Caribbean place that literally they came from nothing, came up from Jamaica somewhere, and now they've got a brick and mortar. So that was one of the places you used to eat on Saturday. So everybody when they go to college, they're always hungry, don't like the cafeteria food, and obviously there's one place that you can go, and you gave me yours, and I just gave you mine. So
Exactly.
okay, let's go to the NFL draft. What was that like for you to experience how the draft was for you then, and now you see how the draft is now in 2023. It looks like it's completely different on TV. And I only been to one draft myself, and I went to draft here in Nashville. It was an explosive event there. But tell us a little bit about your experience.
Man, my experience until now, I'll go from what my experience was. Just being a fullback in college and transition, I was a tweener. So I played fullback, I played a little bit of tailback. I mean, I played fullback and tailback, but for the most part, I got more burn at tailback. So, um, put up some pretty decent numbers in college. I mean, for the most part, and got drafted by San Diego. But as far as was unsure where I was going to get drafted, so nervous. I was just like, man, people's like, "Ah, you're pretty good, man. You might get drafted." I was like, "Shit, okay." Let,
Mhm.
let me
Yeah.
let me let me keep on. Let me keep on doing good. So when that time came and I had to go to the combine, man, it was mind changing. It was just mind blowing as far as the things that they were doing, as far as how they check you, and you felt like almost proud in a way, but kind of almost like cattle. It was just to the
Yeah.
point that it was testing your height, strength, and you outdoing another individual so you could get drafted high. I enjoyed the process. Don't get me wrong. You
Okay.
understand? I enjoyed the process, but I was nervous in the process of going through it, man. But I felt like I would not change that, for the world. That experience that I had, I would not change it for the world.
Okay. Wow. That's because you get a lot of different perspectives from different people, but everybody that I've talked to said they wouldn't change it for the world. Their experience was their experience, and they love it. They do watch other players' experience here, like the younger players, but again, they will keep their experience every time. So that's really good to hear.
I think right now it's just ours was more private. Now the combine and being at the combine, um, it's more public. I mean, you can see everything that everybody is doing. It's almost like you can get it on ESPN. You can see what 40 that they ran, uh, how well they did, what the quarterbacks did. So you can almost kind of take your own stats to see who's going to get drafted or who did well or who's going
Hmm.
to progress going into the NFL. So ours was more private. It was just to the point that you didn't know how well that individual did until maybe the next day. It was not televised. So
Right.
man, these kids have how far technology has came. I wish I'd have played in this era. As far as these guys, man, have the world in the palm of their hand.
Right. Okay. Hold on one second here. Want to make sure the room's soundproof here.
Not a problem.
But
Not a
all good.
problem.
Okay. But here's another thing. So San Diego. Now, me personally, I wish the Chargers never left. I don't like cities having two teams, and I know one day I'm gonna get to San Diego, but because I want to go on vacation. I heard it's the most beautiful city in the country here, or at least one of them. But tell us about San Diego and how do you feel about them losing their team out there?
I, I think the people in San Diego was devastated. They were very supportive a supportive group. I used to, I mean, as far as when I played, I just remember the Raiders coming there and how dedicated they were to their team. Fights broke out, everything. And I mean, it was just like, that's how dedicated they were to the team. I think that that city is struggling right now due to, not having a team and supporting, as far as that fan base. And it's hard for somebody that's San Diego now to go root for the Chargers in LA. You understand?
Hmm.
It it
Yeah.
it does it does not mean the same. But as far as my experience coming to San Diego, coming from the University of Oklahoma and then New Orleans and going out there to that beautiful place, I was like, damn, I'm about to play football out here.
Right.
I was blown away, man. I would not change my San Diego experience for the world, man. Just the people I've met. It's just a family vibe, man, and the fans was amazing.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Got a question about a Charger question for you here. Is there one player that you played with, either in San Diego or Oklahoma, that you still communicate with to this day?
My best friend. I have a best friend that named Jason Perry. We got
Hmm.
drafted together, and I talk to the guy every day, man. He's like a brother to me. Um, so yes, I'm still connected with him, and I talk to this dude every day.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, one other question I want to ask you about the transition of San Diego leaving, going to LA, is you're in the Houston area, right?
Correct.
Still to this day, here in the Nashville area, we still get a little bit of attention, which you got a lot of attention now about the Houston and Nashville connections between teams. Because obviously, the Oilers left, the owner
Correct.
moved out, moved here to Nashville, and we've taken on a new team. But there's still the tension there with the Oilers. So, and I had this question on my podcast before, actually on my Facebook channel. I have a Facebook channel called For Titans Only. And I said, in 2009, we wore the original Houston Oilers jerseys,
Correct.
but for like 2 or 3 games. I think the Hall of Fame game and 2 other games. I don't remember that much that intensity as now we got the Love You Blue ones we're gonna introduce on October 29th.
Hmm.
So I just want to know what I mean because Houston has a team now,
Houston has the team. Correct. The Texans.
right? But
Yeah.
I always thought that's like, do the Houston fan base just want the Oilers name back? Is that what they care about more now? So now, or
I think it's to the point that, so say for instance you took the Saints out of New Orleans, right?
hmm
Then 2 or 3 years later, another team come in because they feel like now the city need the team because the team left. It bought that team bought so much to the city. I think that the older generation, that's what they had, man. They even built. They have the Astrodome. The Astrodome still exists to this day. It's still up. So it's So I said that to say these fans have rooted for these teams so long, and just to uproot that team from that city and bring it to another city, it's almost like a smack in the face, man. It's almost like uh you want to burn your jersey. It's
Mhm.
like, I don't want to have nothing to do with this team anymore, because man, you hear about Green Bay, that the fan base and the people so dedicated to their teams, like individuals leave their tickets in their will. You know, it's
Mhm.
like that's how strong the Oilers was in Houston, man. You still have older gentlemen still wearing Oilers jerseys, still wearing, uh, uh, when I was in San Diego, say out jerseys to this day. San Diego's gonna always be, the San Diego Chargers. I don't give a damn what you say about the LA Chargers. It's gonna always be the San Diego Chargers,
Okay, I hear that. So it's the same feeling, and I'm gonna go back a few years. The Baltimore used to be the Baltimore Colts,
man. Correct.
and they've been at Apple so long. Do you know if there's tension between Baltimore and Indianapolis? Because it
Uh,
was, yeah.
Not at this point, man. I don't know too much because that's too far. But as far as the Oilers, Tennessee, and people, I mean, as areas I still deal with, I still know the tension there from the teams that left them existing areas. I only seen the Baltimore and Indianapolis, fusion on TV, and how disappointed the fans was when they left Indianapolis to go to Baltimore, you know. So I don't know how deep the tension is there, but I do know how deep the tension is as far as Houston, as far as the Oilers going to Tennessee.
Yeah, because I feel like we call it the worst because there's been teams like Cleveland left the whole team and went to form the Baltimore Ravens, but they just
Correct.
left the name back. So they'll like forget it. Oakland left, went to LA, back to LA again. Now they're in Vegas. And back to Oakland. Now they're in Vegas. So it's just funny how I feel like we get the most tension out of all of them. Yeah.
I
Even though
I
we don't
think
carry the Oilers name. So
exactly. I mean, if y'all had to carry something with the Oilers existing on it, as far as San Diego still have to, is what it is, the LA Chargers or something like that. Still same logos, everything. It's just the individuals are mad. Y'all change everything completely. And it's just like, but the Oilers still exist to some of these older gentlemen. In their heart, they know what the Oilers is. Hey, that's our team, you know. So that's
okay.
probably why y'all deal with so much attention.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, let's move on to another touchy subject here: the state of NFL running backs. What do you think about the state of NFL running backs with their contracts now? I feel like they're getting really disrespected in the NFL. Now we do know that Jonathan Taylor finally got an extension, but he had to sit out 4 games. Derrick Henry here, a local player here in Tennessee, obviously felt some kind of way because he felt like his counterparts here have not been respected in the contract negotiations. Saquon Barkley, other running backs are sitting on 1 year deals, and it's just not fair. And then we see Nick Chubb go down with a devastating knee injury. Luckily, he got his money before that. But what do you feel about why maybe the NFL is treating running backs the way they do?
Um, I think with the offense that is they're currently running, the spread West Coast type offense, they feel like the days of the running back is, it's coming to an end as far as
Mm,
I feel like you're gonna always need a running back to open up the passing game, you know. But as far as good running backs like you just named, Chubbs, Derrick Henry, is unfortunately as they're spreading the offense out, you just need to hand that ball to the running back, get a couple of yards. And right now, the receiver is the glorified position. Everybody fighting for that, that top, receiver, that top dog. But as far as just running backs right now, it's just it's a position that's not glorified anymore, man. And it's just I feel like every team needs a good running back. I mean, as far as you see how what Christian McCaffrey is to the
mm,
49ers. Without him, he's opening up everything else as far as for the tight ends, for the wide receivers, because now he could flare out. You could dump the ball off to him in a flat, and that makes somebody have to guard him. And once he goes downfield, he's now opening up and making a defense playing 2-3 defense, whatever defense you're playing,
mm,
you now have to cover him because he's just as good as a receiver. I mean, I feel like as far as the 49ers is using him right, but as far as other teams, they're getting away with the position, and it's but it's what it is, As far as I still enjoy football, but you don't have no teams that really do the pounding and ground. I mean, ground and pound anymore. You do a quarterback sneak to for get the hard yards now. You don't even get the running back the ball and get that tough 1 yard gain. You could do a quarterback sneak. So they're doing away
mm.
with the position.
Okay. Well, that's just unfortunate because I always like if you go back and look at the old NFL films, I still like of all the highlights looking at NFL running plays of
Yeah.
all of them.
Barry
And it's
Sanders, Walter Payton, all good running backs like that. Ladanian, Eddie
yeah,
George, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. Well, I got you know, I always do like a random rapid fire things for here for the last couple minutes. So I'm gonna give you some rapid fire questions, and you just give me the quickest answer that come to your mind. Are you ready to
All
go?
right, let's go, man.
All right. What is your favorite NFL stadium to play in?
Ooh, um, ooh. You said rapid fire, man. I have a lot of them. So right now it was Seattle. Seattle was a very nice stadium.
Oh, the Kingdom, or you talk about the old stadium, or you talking about the one they got now? I guess.
The one they have now. I
Oh, okay.
I currently play in them. Whenever I think just finished building. No, no, no. The old stadium. The old stadium was a nice stadium as well.
Hmm.
I don't know how recently they had this new one, but Seattle was a nice place. I just like the as far as going there playing football, the atmosphere there. I mean, but the stadium was nice. I enjoyed the stadium.
Okay. Favorite college stadium, not Oklahoma.
Uh, LSU.
Oh, nice, nice. Best locker room in the NFL.
Oof, man, you got me thinking. I can tell you the worst one.
Okay.
when I
That's,
played,
that's
when I when I played, worst one was Philly. Man, Philly had to have the worst stadium when I played. The worst
uh-huh.
stadium and the worst locker room. The best locker room was Baltimore when I played. Baltimore was the best locker room.
Okay. All right, let's go. Best and worst NFL jersey.
I'm gonna say the Titans. That's what you mean.
No, if
Oh
you feel that, say it.
no,
It's
no, I'm messing with you, messing with you. I still think that San Diego have some of the best jerseys. I mean, as far as the best uniforms.
you talking about the new ones they got, the ones they got now. They kind of look like the old ones a little bit.
I think the old ones was some of the best uniforms, and then when they went to powder blue, man, you couldn't go wrong. As far
Yeah.
as the worst uniforms, Cincinnati,
You talking about the new ones they got now?
the old ones, man. I'm old school, man. So I'm going with the
Okay.
old ones.
You talking about the Boomer Esiason with the
E-
all the yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Favorite food and worst food.
And just for me, or just as
Just
far
for
as
you. Just for
oh
you.
man, I'm from New Orleans, man. I shoot my favorite food. I love red beans, rice, gumbo, fried chicken.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
Worst food, worst
Mhm.
food. Man, I'm gonna say worst food. I don't like sushi.
Really?
I hate
Isn't,
sushi, man.
isn't sushi like supposed to be healthy? Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
supposed to.
supposed to be, but I don't like the texture. I can't get past the texture.
Okay. Uh, your favorite city in the United States?
Favorite city.
Hmm.
Oh man. Well, I say I can always move. Probably San Diego, man. I enjoy California. I like San
Yeah,
Diego, bro. I do,
San
man. I
Diego.
I can't afford it, but I mean, I love it.
Okay. Uh, are you? So I'm gonna go to Vegas now. So you ever been to Vegas? Before I ask you this question,
Absolutely, been many a times.
blackjack or roulette?
Blackjack,
Really?
yes, sir.
Mine's roulette. I feel like I'll be better. I have more success at the roulette table than blackjack
I
all day.
think that you have more ways to win at roulette, and as far as with blackjack, it's just what it is, and sometimes it's who's closer to 21.
Okay. Favorite musician, dead or alive?
Ooh, best, I'm gonna say best concert I've ever been to is probably
Mm.
Prince. And I've
Oh,
been to a Prince concert, man. I think that that was one of the best talented musicians in concert I've ever been to. And
okay.
alive, oh man, I'm a Jay Z fan, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jay-Z fan. Okay. All right. Couple more here. Favorite place to vacation?
Oh, Wow.
Unless the
Europe.
it could be a place you haven't been to either. We can go there.
Europe. I went to Greece, Mykonos. It was, man, beautiful, hands down.
Greece. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I got one more question here for you here. And then I want to get back to that Greece part, but my last question would be if you had the chance to interview anybody, who would that be? Dead or alive?
Oh wow. You know what? Um, Probably with the age I am now, probably my grandfather, man. I never
I
got a
like that.
chance. I
I
never really
like
got
that.
a chance to ask him a whole lot of questions that I have unanswered, and it's to the point that he was a great man, and it's to the point that ask him a lot of the things why he did what he did, why making the decisions that he made, so probably my grandfather.
Yeah, I like that. I remember when I was younger, a few years younger, I always idolized certain actors and things like that. People, famous people. But when I
Hmm.
got a chance to meet a couple of them, it just wasn't and I'll talk to you off the record about this, but I met one of my favorite actors, and I was as nice as a gentleman I can be with the person, and he basically dissed me, and he had no reason to, but he did have a reason to. But I'll talk to you off record about that. But I like to interview people like I would definitely like to interview someone that lived 80, 100 years ago, just to kind of see how they were, how things were in their time. That would be a great, you know, I don't know who that person will be, but
Yeah.
I would like to, I always say like Martin Luther King, but I kind of want to go back even further than that. So,
Oh
just to
wow.
kind of, somebody just, because, it's a whole different world they lived in.
Absolutely, absolutely. They have truly survived. I mean, a lot of, a lot of things, man. I'm just gonna say it like that. Just a lot of things, and just to pick my grandfather brain and him being, my grandfather was born in
Mhm.
1925. You know what I'm talking about? So just to get some perspective from him of what he went through when he was young and all the adversity that he and went through and came through. So I would love to you know pick his brain.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up here, and I always end with this here. Do you have a question to ask me? You got one question you'd like to ask me?
uh, what make you do what you're doing currently? I mean, as far as want to get into interviewing, asking athletes or just anybody, what's your interest? Why you like this?
Well, I like the one-on-one connections you have with different people, um, and I like to say, "Hey, are you interested in interviewing with me?" Just asking that question because, you know, I like to know people, and when you ask questions, you really get a answer that you want to get. Because if you're just talking to somebody, it's not as intimate. You might get, they might tell you this just to tell you this and try to go walk away. But if you ask somebody for an interview, most of the time people are really like, "Oh, why would you want to interview me?" Or "I'm glad that you did that. I do have something. I have my own business. I have things I want to say." And it just feels more personal. Of course, like you go to interviews for a job, you have to be personal with them in order to get the job. So I like
Correct.
to do that in business and in friendship. So that's one reason. And the other reason, my father. So I told him one day, I said one day I'm going to get back into football. My dad was a football coach,
Okay.
and I tried to figure out a different way of doing it. And I said I can interview players. I know what's going on. I know a lot of different players. I'm just trying to get my feet wet so I can actually interview different players in football. It doesn't really matter, but definitely football. And I would like to, because I know more about that than I know any other sport. And I always told them this is one way I can get back, give back, and get back is
Ab-
interviewing for interview athletes. So yes.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you're doing a great job, man. Keep up the good work. Anything I can do to help y'all moving forward, man, believe you me, I'm there for you.
Okay. I really appreciate you, Jermaine. And as I always say, until I speak to you again, I'll give you peace and blessings and have a good evening.
All right. Thank you. You too, Ray. Been a
No,
pleasure.
thank you. Oh,